Okay, as you can see, we're back with Matthew. He has joined myself and Howard again. It's been a little while, and we're another month gone almost. I can't believe it. The title did say it's Christmas. Is it time for the Christmas tree to go up? Well, I think some people actually got them up. I think it's been one of them months, hasn't it, with lockdowns that's happened. But yeah, it's great. It's great that we're all back together, and hopefully we can give you some good bit of news today, a bit of information, a bit of update on the market, and generally just see how everyone's getting on, really. So yeah, how are you? How are you guys?
How are you, Matt?
Yeah,
Nice to see you.
nice to see you.
Yeah, good. Yeah, all hunky dory here down in Morecambe and Lancaster.
I didn't recognise you actually from the photograph that someone sent me this morning. I didn't think that was you now.
Yeah, my beard has now gone. So I had a lockdown beard which was shaved into my icon of Hulk Hogan. However, I probably looked a bit
So
more
yeah,
like Ricky Gervais out of The Office.
I think it suited it. Honestly, it did. It suited him as well.
Well, you can wear a mask at the moment, can't you? So I don't think anyone ever realised what was underneath the masks. There you go. Sound like the Batman.
True.
True. So what's
So
going on,
apart from
guys?
that, Matt,
Yeah, what's going on? What are we on with at the moment? How's life in your respective areas, Preston and Lancaster? All
I tell you what, I don't know if you guys, you surely will know what day it is today. We all know what day it is today, don't we? It's Lancashire Day. Lancashire
Lancashire
Day.
Day.
I don't know up in Lancaster, or Morecambe, where you guys are, but where I am here, Preston South Ribble, we had an air display, kind of, but up until about 12 o'clock anyway. So had airplanes flying over Preston South Ribble. It was nice to see. In fact, I should have videoed it. I'm going to show you a little clip now. Apparently, it's Lancashire Day started in, did you know, it's 1996.
I don't often.
A bit of history for you guys, a bit of history, and you're not listening. It was to commemorate the day in 1295 when Lancashire first sent representatives to Parliament, and it was to attend the Model Parliament for King Edward I. So every year, November the 27th, there's a bit of celebration on. There's, I think there's a website, Lancashire Enterprise. So if anyone, you guys on there are interested, if you go on there, it'll tell you a bit more about it. But yeah, we had airplanes. Did you know anything up there?
Not that I've noticed, unfortunately. I think I've been in most of the day. I suppose can't see much out of the office window, unfortunately. But it's glad to see here that it was celebrated there in Preston. I imagine some stuff has been done in the area, but I suppose it's what you can't do a right lot, can you, at the moment, necessarily to celebrate.
That's some positive news and some great news and a bit of history as well.
Yeah.
Rather than next week, bit of negativity. Coming out of lockdown 2, here we go, into lockdown tier 3. I don't know. But anyway, I won't go over that much. How did you get on, Matt, last week? What did you get up to?
You what, mate?
What did you get up to last week in your chores at home?
Just getting everything ready for the baby, I guess. So just renovations and things like that. But good to get back to work and get back to some form of normality. However, let's face it, from what you just said, nothing's normal at the moment. But there's some good news there with the Eden project, which is great. Obviously, Rishi Sunak coming out and said he'd be very happy to discuss and meet and talk over the ambitions for this project with the local MP David Morris. So that's great. We really need that to keep proceeding full pedal to the metal down here in Morecambe. I think it's something that we've got to all strive and keep focused on. And I'm sure you'll agree with me, Kev, being a local lad. It's something really for us Morecambians and obviously even the Lancastrians to look forward to. Something really happening in the local area, and I'm sure it'll give it a boost. And obviously there has been some scares, obviously with the financial situation of the government, obviously pumping money into the economy left, right, and centre. But obviously they can't forget about things like this, and obviously that's a promising sign. They haven't.
Well, I think the Eden project is great, isn't it? Even for Preston to fair, to get something of the quality of what that is and that what that will bring to the area is massive. And you've got all the jobs.
I mean,
you've got all the,
like you say, even though it's in your area, it's Lancashire, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
a big. Well, I think it's the biggest county, I think. But I think it's going to be great for the surrounding area. It's going to attract a lot of interest for for people, bring a lot of money to Lancashire as well. And
Yeah, I think it will. I think
now that we go down south, and it is down south, and it's right down south.
right down south.
Yeah. And you know, and I visited that one down there, and it's very interesting, and it's good to view. And I think it will attract a lot more people to the north of England and predominantly to where you guys are. So yeah, I think it's great.
It'll bring money in. It'll create jobs doing it. It'll boost the economy in the local area. It'll probably drive house prices. I would guess. You can't say for definite, obviously, but I would guess it'll drive prices a little bit. But it's a good focal point, I think, and a good thing there in the front, because you know, I remember growing up, we had Frontierland, you know, and that was a massive part of growing up. That, and along with Bubbles, you know, and all the swimming down there, and it's lacked something down there on the front, I think, since they've gone. So to get something back like that, and it's great to hear that Rishi Sunak is going to be discussing funding for it, because I think it will bring a good boost to the area.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Without a shadow of a doubt. So anyway, well, we're 5 weeks off Christmas, are we now, Kev? Something like that.
4 weeks, I think. Is it 4 weeks today?
Back to what we do. I really did think, you know, we were positive going into November. I thought November was going to be tailing off a little bit, but it's been probably the busiest month, I would say, for me, in Preston for a long time. But on a note on that as well, I was reading it as well the other day. I know we spoke about it. People that we know that, like Rightmove and Zoop and everything. Someone's done a poll about how many people go and look at it, and you know, you've heard the term tyre kickers when someone goes around a garage looking at cars and no intentions of buying, and you've got, in our game, you've got the so-called carpet treaders. Well, this poll has gone out there to say that people are addicted to going on Rightmove, going on Zoop at the night time, looking at properties, oohing and ahhing at them, looking at them, commenting on them to their friends, maybe commenting on them in their own mind. And I found that there's off this poll of 65% of people go on there, 16% of these people have said it's actually a habit, and they hide it from the partners. They don't even tell the partners that they want it. But they'll be sat there while you're watching, I don't know, Hawaii Five-0, just chose that randomly, on TV, and they're looking at their iPad or their iPhone, and they're secretly going up on Rightmove. They're not swiping left and right, they're going up and down on these ones, looking at property. So it is quite interesting, that, isn't it? What's your thoughts on that? Have you got anyone?
Well, it's really interesting. The most interesting about that is actually the first programme that came to mind was Hawaii Five-0.
I was just about to say that. I was a secret addict of Hawaii Five-0.
I don't watch a great deal of television, but Mrs. watches it.
I agree. My wife is one of those people. She loves looking at property on Rightmove.
Right, yeah.
He's almost addicted to it, I think. It's one of the things. So it just shows you that, you know, putting your house on there is not just for buyers directly. You know, you're looking at people. You're looking at for everyone. There's so many people out there, isn't there? They're looking at it, and it only takes that person to send it on to the friend, or people who aren't even thinking of moving. I'm not thinking of moving. My wife's got no chance of moving, but you know, people who aren't thinking of moving see the house that they really like on there. It might actually get them moving. So you know, it's
you know, I'm just thinking about something you just said then, right? Got me thinking. So when people are looking to buy or sell a house, they go on Rightmove, and probably they don't go on it that often, only at that time of year. So you've got these other people that are on it all the time. Okay, no intention of buying, but looking, commenting, and like I said, doing an arguing. Maybe we should, not just us, estate agents, should do a survey out at these people to say, what do they look for, what's important, what catches their eye, what do they not look at, what do they quickly turn over, what do they not look at. Just a way that all of us as estate agents, we can help improve our listings. Just an idea.
Yeah, well, you know, we always question ourselves, I think, on that, don't we, as to what we think is the best out there for our clients, because we know that you can be involved and you can be in a massive pack of properties, and you need to make sure that your listing stands out from that, and we do try and question ourselves on a regular basis as to whether what we're doing is standing out.
Yeah.
And you're right.
You are,
If you've got all those people there who have got no intention of ever buying, how do you reach them people to find out if what you're doing is actually good, I suppose, or decent, or whether they think it is?
You'd have to tap into the survey, put them on a survey on Facebook every now and again. When they blow up as an advert with everything, I don't know. Just an idea. An idea.
Yeah, it is.
So,
Certainly a good idea.
Yeah, just an idea. Hey, have you ever heard of two things? Have you ever heard of the Harris Park in Fulwood? I don't know if you've heard of it. It's this big, really Grade 2 listed building, and a gentleman purchased it a number of years ago, and he's got quite a bit of property in Preston, and I believe he's got a hand, if not in the Royal Preston Hospital. Anyway, he bought this back in 2006. It's the Harris Park. It's on Garstang Road, off Garstang Road. It used to be an orphanage. Grade 2 listed, fantastic building, but it's in a lot of land. And this chap applied for planning permission to get 69 new homes on this site, which is a phenomenal size, 69 new homes, you imagine it.
Yeah.
But also, the Grade 2 listed building, which was the orphanage, to convert that into 9 deluxe apartments, and it caused a bit of a fuss around there, because it is a prestige area, really, in all honesty, especially this particular building and the history that's attached to it. So these plans got knocked back. It's been going on for years, this, but there's new plans that have just gone in now for 50 buildings, and it's been split into 2 separate applications. So we'll have to see how that goes. And it kind of reiterates what we said last couple of weeks about people get yourself on the planning application websites for Preston, for Lancaster, for South Ribble. See what's happening out there. And I think I said last week, let me know, or let you know, let Matthew and Kevin know up in Lancaster and Morecambe, if they see anything on there that might be interesting that we can talk about. And I think I can't remember if it was yourself or Matthew mentioned there was something similar in Lancaster, wasn't there, or Morecambe, wasn't there?
Yeah, in Morecambe, as most of you know, me and Kev were Morecambe High lads. So on the corner of Broadway and Stewart Avenue, there is an old church, and on the planning website, actually Kev discovered this, there is 13 obviously 13 apartments being built within that church. So planning's been in for that, and it's been granted. Kev noticed it the other day. I was having a chat with because drove past and there was some builders there and everything, and so it's obviously the Broadway apartments at the end looking over the prom. They've gone down a success and sold really well. So it'd be interesting actually to see what they do with the church and how they, what they do with it, whether they, the apartments are being built within the church, whether they're knocking it down and re-erecting all the apartments. It'd be quite quirky to see it done with the church, but yeah, no, it's good, and it's good to see something local, especially from when it's round the corner from my house and I guess Kev's as well.
Yeah.
We can I might just keep walking the dog past there quite often just to keep,
It sounds dead quirky. In Preston, Matt, they did it years ago. I've sold a couple of them over the years. St Mark's Church in Preston. What they did there is they converted that into 1 and 2 bedroom apartments. It's quirky. I don't know if I'd like to live in one myself, honestly, but it's quirky. But if you mention if you're looking over a bay, is that what you said? They're looking over the bay there?
They're not, unfortunately.
These won't be, but they're only a 2-minute walk from the promenade. They're on a very popular main road as you lead out towards the prom in Broadway, and Stewart Avenue is a hugely popular area as well. So they're in a really good spot. Very handy for everything. But it is very interesting. I love watching all these programs, how they go about converting all of these buildings. Keeping the structure of the building and messing around with the insides of it all, and it's a shame, really. I'm not. I've never.
I thought you were going to say it's a shame you're not single. You've been going around and looking.
No, it's a shame. It's unfortunate, and I don't know what's gone on that it's not still been a church. It's always been a church ever since we've been small, and it's always been there. I've been at school, and I personally I don't go to church myself, but it's always been recognised as a church. So it's a shame that these businesses, I suppose, is what the church sort of is that again having to close down and sell off buildings and all those sort of things. But interesting to go into the flats. It'll be really good to see how they pan out, and I love seeing all the drawings of it all and everything like that. So
One more thing I thought I'd just touch on, chaps, before we move on to figures and things, obviously we've gone into this extra kind of, you know, tier 3 lockdown, and you know, if you're like me, one of these people who don't really like to sit still, as you can probably tell, I kind of usually in this video kind of move around quite a lot. I kind of thought I'd do a bit of research into like what you can do at the moment in kind of the Morecambe and Lancaster area. Obviously there's not a lot you can do, but don't forget, in my opinion, and I'm sure any of you watching who live locally around here will agree with me, that we live in one of the most beautiful areas full of natural beauty, scenic views, that there is, in my opinion, anywhere else. But there are numerous places you can go for nice walks. If you're into photography, give it a go, get some pictures. But just a list, obviously the River Loon, you know, you can go down to the weir there. Heysham Head, go and see the Viking graves. Williamson's Park's great, Happy Mount Park's great. I mean, these are all on the visitor guides. You can go and have a look at exactly what's there. Silverdale, the highest point in Lancashire, Wharton Crag. There is plenty of things that you can go and do. Just go for nice walks. Obviously, I know we're kind of coming into winter now, but it's been a nice couple of days actually. I know it's been cold, but if you wrap up, absolutely fantastic. Well, I mean, even the Forest of Bowland, you know, go get yourselves out, get some fresh air. It's a lovely spot to be in.
Well, the good thing about those, Matt, and it's good that you mentioned it, because of course this year has been very tough on a lot of people's mental health. And going and doing all of those things, going and having walks in those sort of areas, and taking pictures, spending time with family in those sort of areas, which you can do, is very good for your mental health, isn't it? So
absolutely. Get out, get some fresh air, go see the wildlife as well. You'll see plenty of wildlife actually down in those areas, which is quite cool. There's a lot of wildlife you don't think is out there.
I do, and the vast majority of everything you've just mentioned there, Matthew, it don't cost anything, doesn't it?
No.
Exactly, mate. There is plenty you can do. It's to be honest, I will happily admit, I'm not, although I've got the dog and everything, me and my fiance Chloe will often go down like to the prom, or we'll go down to Barnsley Sands on the beach and everything, up to Heysham. We go up to Heysham Head now and then. But there are plenty of places you can go, even if you've not got pets, go for a walk on, you know, as a couple or as a family. I know, Kev, you like going on walks. You've done Wharton Crag a couple of times. The view that you must get up there must be absolutely outstanding. Same with the highest point in Lancashire. That won't take you long to go and do. And the views, although it's kind of classed as a Yorkshire Dales area, we won't talk about that. It is still part of Lancashire. That's the main thing. But the highest point kind of meets on the border there, and the view. I've never done it. However, if you just Google the pictures, I bet you the view over to Morecambe Bay, you'll be able to see all
miles from there.
To Preston, Blackpool Tower, over to Yorkshire, Boo, and the rest of the nice side of God's country, Lancashire.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's good to get out. We can furnish people with a list of interesting stuff to do. Might be worth putting together the names and all, Matt, and we'll drop a little list on the video.
Absolutely. Well, I can attach the link. As I say, the suggestions are all from the visitor as well. It's amazing what the local news tells you, and you never actually think of doing anything like that until somebody kind of prompts you to do it.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Cheers for giving us those, Matt. That sounds cool. Good to know. So let's just have a look. Just to conclude, what the market looks like at the moment. Obviously, we're in the housing market. I'm sure there's people out there who will want to know that. I know you guys do like seeing the data for your particular areas. Just before I put it on, how do we think it's going at the moment? What do you think November's been like? Howard, you said you were quite busy. Do we think the figures are doing well? Do we think they're not?
I think it's going to be a lot similar to what you've shown us every week, really, where it's slower on instructions, more on sales. You know, this time last week, I didn't even put a house on the market. It went like that. Went within half an hour.
Yeah.
So it just really underlines the fact, what we've always said again, that there's not enough properties on the market. So I think you're going to be very, very similar.
Okay. So let's have a look. So these are for November 19 against November this year, and up until yesterday. So today's figures aren't involved. Obviously, today's not over. So 26 days in November. So let's just have a quick look at these. So Lancaster first. So 238 new instructions in Lancaster last November. What are you going for this November, Matt?
I still think that maybe if it's a good guess here now, I feel like I'm under pressure. New properties for sale. I actually think it'll be down in November, but sales will be up.
Okay, so
Still.
238.
What figure are you going for?
What figure? How many?
210.
237.
Oh, I'm right. It was down. It was down.
So it is down just. I mean, it's basically equal, isn't it? And I've put equal year on year because it's basically the same. So that's with.
I'm quite happy you explained that because I nearly went equal yoy. What's yoy?
Year on year. So yeah, that's 4 days to go as well. So there's going to be at least our house put on the market, and then we've got some going on. So it'll be over year on year. We've got more than one going on. So yeah, there'll be more than last year, which is amazing. What about sales, Matt?
230.
So 184 last year, 217. So not quite.
Yeah, I'm not far off though. I'm not far off.
But the last week has been massive. There's almost 70 last week sold. So it was just last week. It was just amazing. So yeah, well up, and that's 18% up. And again with 4 days to go, so we've got a weekend to go as well. So that's just going to go flying past even further than it already is. Howard, go on.
Remind me where we were last week.
Oh God, we were 157 last week.
157. I don't think it'll be more than. I don't think it'll be more than 210.
Okay. 220.
Well, that's in that.
So again.
That's better than what I anticipated then. So that's
again,
good news.
Yeah, it's really good news. So it's really picked up in the last week. Instructions. So I would think again the weekends come in that is going to surpass last year. So that again there'll be more come on there. 4.3% down at the moment. It's probably going to make it up. I would think.
You're not so far away, are you?
No. Sales.
I'm going to be a little bit positive here. I'm going to say 161.
161. 193.
Happy days. When I said a little positive,
193.
that's unbelievable.
So.
Well, you know what I said to you.
Turn up. So it's been, as you
fair,
can see there.
That 4.3%. It's more or less. It's not equal. Well, I'm going to say it's more or less equal. It's not equal, but it's not a million miles away.
No.
But and the other two figures, either side, 18%, 21%. It's it's a hair, isn't it? Hairline.
Yeah, it's really encouraging. I would suggest that we'll have a look at the whole month of November next week. I would think
next month.
It is next month as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have to look at the data, but I would think that the sales figures there will be the busiest November for as long as figures have been calculated. I bet that would be my guess.
Yeah. As long as we have figures.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. Honestly.
Yeah, I would think, and that would be my guess as to why. Well, it's why solicitors and conveyancers are so busy, obviously, because even the sales are just continuing to motor on, aren't they, and plough through. So yeah, that was the data. There. So yeah, busy, really busy. Still, sales are. Options that are coming as well, so new properties coming to the market. There's obviously a bit of confidence there. I would think that that's going to continue as we come out into tier 3. Tier 3 isn't stopping us doing anything still. People can still get houses on the market and can get sold before Christmas, so I would think that that'll be the same. The lettings market, although I haven't got the figures there for it, is exactly the same. Things come on and go instantly. It is a really busy time. Really busy time. So yeah, we're here to help. I'm sure other agents will be doing that same thing. If you need to find out about value of homes or anything like that, give us a shout. We can certainly help you. And it is still, despite being December on Tuesday, very, very good. Very, very good time to sell your home.
Friday.
Yeah.
4th of December. No Christmas tree up yet. Anyway, none at my house. Bar humbug.
Bar humbug. Bar humbug. Well, anything else to add, guys? I mean, we've been quite a while today. It's been quite a long one, but very informative.
Yeah.
But, right. Well, we'll wrap it up there, guys. It's great to see you guys again, and hope it was very informative for everyone out there. I'll say it again as we do every week. we're here to answer questions. Give us a shout before, drop us a comment on the video while we're live. We'll answer it for you. And I say we're just here to help. So we hope everyone has a good weekend.